In this video you will learn how to create required inputs inside Angular and why they are still not good enough. So starting from Angular 16 we are getting required inputs, and essentially this is exactly what we wanted. We want to define what inputs are required for our components and get TypeScript errors. But actually this is not implemented in the best possible way that I would like to have. But before I will show you required inputs in Angular, I want to show you how inside React inputs with TypeScript are working. And actually inside React we are getting required inputs in a perfect way. Why is that? Because essentially all components inside React are just functions. As you can see here, I have a function button and we are providing inside text and icon. And here we are defining as button props our text and icon. As you can see here, we defined that text and icon are both optional and they are strings. But if we are making them mandatory and we are removing here an input, then we are getting here an error. Property icon is missing in type. And the main point why it is so good, because now we can remove here inside button this check that we have an icon, and here we are 100% sure that we always provide inside an icon. Because here we are defining that we are getting a string, we don't need to handle any additional cases, and now TypeScript will always validate correctly that icon is missing. Now here is exactly the same example in Angular. We are getting here a button and we are providing inside text and icon, and here is our button. We are defining here two inputs for text and for the icon, and here we are rendering an icon and text. And as you can see here, we have an if for the icon, and if it is provided, then we are rendering it. This is totally fine, but starting from Angular 16, we can declare that our input is required, which actually means here we can define required true, and inside icon we can also define required true. In this case here, we don't need to say that this is undefined, it is required. Now let's try to remove one property inside app component HTML. I want to remove this icon and check if I have any errors. And as you can see here, we are getting two errors. First of all, required input icon from component button component must be specified. This is actually good. We are getting errors inside TypeScript if we didn't provide inside our components properties that we need to provide. This is exactly what we wanted. But actually here, as you can see, I am getting another error. Property icon has no initializer and is not definitely assigned in the constructor. What does it mean? Inside our button TS, we are getting an error for our icon. TypeScript does not care if we provide it inside a decorator required true, it still says that we must provide initializer, and here we don't have initializer, which means it is undefined by default. And actually for me it doesn't make any sense. We either say it is required or we provide a default value, which means required is a nice decorator, but it still plays badly together with TypeScript. We still must say here question mark, and then it is undefined, but then you have all these problems inside your component because your component thinks that the property can be undefined. We want to avoid that. We want to have just a string here, not string or undefined. This is why a lot of people will fix that with an exclamation mark, and this will tell TypeScript that this property is for sure there. And essentially, yes, we're sure that it is there, because in other case we will get TypeScript error, but still exclamation mark sounds for me like a hack, because I really want to see exactly the same behavior like inside React. We simply define properties for the component that we want to see, and it works out of the box, without need to tell TypeScript that this value is really there. And actually, if you are interested to know how to use material pagination inside Angular application, make sure to check this video also.